Hello and welcome to Knowledgist. Hope all of you doing well in this budget session, and today is the day for Union Budget 2022. Hello and good evening all. I know that you people are anxiously waiting for us to decode the budget 2022, and we are here to do so. Like yesterday, we have decoded the economic survey, and I am very thankful the way you people have poured your love and support towards us. So before I begin, I just want to again reiterate to all of you just to subscribe us in case any one of you is new to this platform. So today in this edition, we will be discussing about budget 2022 in the simplest manner. And I challenge that it will be the most simple way to decode the budget 2022, and we took our time to research not to miss any big update which could be important for your exam point of view. So let's begin, and at the end, as usual, we have top 10 MCQs for budget 2022. Yes, so let's begin. And as always, you can visit to our website to find out an exclusive course for you for your upcoming bank exams. And I hope all of you know that we are number one, not number one, but the only one to focus on lateral entry, banking journalist officer and specialist officer segment. Here is our Telegram channel. Links are available in description. We are opening up new Telegram group for RBI career for RBI grade B vacancies. And yes, not subscribed, do subscribe. It costs you nothing. तो आज के सेशन सिंपल इंग्लिश में रहने वाला है, और समवेयर वी विल बी पुटिंग सिंपल हिंदी टू. जहां पे आपको जरूरत है आप मुझे कमेंट कर सकते हैं, मैं आपका लाइव कमेंट भी साथ साथ देख रहा हूं. ठीक है. यूनियन बजट प्रिंटेड एवरी ईयर इन द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्रीज इन हाउस प्रेस involving around 100 employees of the ministry who have to stay together for almost 15 days till the papers are printed, sealed and delivered into the day of the budget. Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead. The goals is for Amrit Kal. The government is envisaging the Amrit Kal from the 75th anniversary of our independence to the 100th year of our independence. So these 25 years will be treated as Amrit Kal, and it will give us impetus to grow in a rapid manner. As the world economists suggest that India is going to grow in the fastest pace, so is our government predicting that these coming years will be the Amrit Kal. And remember, I always say the budgets or the measures of government that are not populist in nature are for the long term benefits of the country. So that's why, as there were elections ahead, it was thought that this budget was going to be populist one, but it was more of a growth oriented budget than being a populist measure. So the focus on growth and all inclusive welfare, promoting technology enabled development, energy transition and climate action, virtuous cycle starting from private investment crowded in by public capital investment. There are 1-2 slides I will copy it from the union budget, then we will move to, as usual, our simple presentation. Okay, so it is a growth oriented budget. There is much emphasis given to growth के ऊपर ज्यादा तवज्जो दिया गया है इस बजट में. ठीक है. एंड दिस इज ड्यूरिंग, यू मस्ट रिमेंबर, these are tested times for our country, so COVID times, so these welfare measures could help us grow in long run. Okay, and the 4 priorities of the government that we could see from the union budget is the PM Gati Shakti, inclusive development, productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition and climate action, and financing of investments. These are 4 main growth areas, 4 focus areas where government of India wanted to focus this time. Okay, so the list of budget documents, I will now cover all the basics related to the union budget. Shekhar Chaudhary, good evening Sarji, always energetic as usual. As you say, it gives us immense energy to present so much of knowledge in front of you. It requires really too much of energy. We are decoding the union budget from the morning so that nothing could be missed. So thank you for that. Yeah, the list of budget documents, not only the budget is presented or the budget speech is presented in parliament, there is a list of document along with the budget speech is presented in parliament. Let's learn what are these documents. First thing is the annual financial statement or AFS. Remember, in our constitution there is nothing called budget. There is a provision in article 112 regarding the financial statement of the union, so that we in lateral times we talk it as, we represent it as budget. So first is the annual financial statement, demand of grants, finance bill, fiscal policy statement under FRBM Act. I think all of you know about FRBM Act. FRBM is the fiscal responsibility and budgetary management act, which is enacted during the Atalji's tenure, that is in 2003. Okay, so as per this FRBM Act, there are two things: microeconomic framework and medium term fiscal policy fiscal policy strategy statement is introduced. Expenditure budget, receipt budget, expenditure profile, budget at a glance, memorandum explaining the provisions of the finance bill, output or outcome of monitoring framework, key features of budget 2022 and 2023, and implementation of budget announcement 2021 and 2022. In last budget, what they have implemented or what they have achieved. Okay, and these first three bills which is introduced, or the first three documents, AFS, DG and finance bill, demands of grants, annual financial statement and finance bill, is introduced as per the articles of the constitution. 112 in annual financial statement, demands of grants under 113, and finance bill as always under 110. Okay, and the rest, these two things under, as I said, it is under FRBM Act 2003, right? So let's move to the next point, the annual financial statement. What is annual financial statement? The annual financial statement, I am very thankful to our team, to our banking experts, to our economists who are supporting us from backside, are giving answers to all of you in the comment section. As I am presenting you, there are the economic content creators and expert bankers who are given the live access to answer your comments. So I will urge all of you to rely on the live comments or the live answers given to your live queries in live section. Simultaneously things are going on. This is not one mind that is teaching you. There are so many mentors with more experience than me are behind this platform. So I thank them during this presentation, and I thank all of you for your gracious presence in this platform. So yes, we'll be talking about the AFS. It is under article 112 of our esteemed constitution. Okay, so it talks about the estimated receipts and expenditure of the government of the India for 2022 and 2023, along with the estimates for 2021 to 2022, as also actuals for the year 2021 and 2022. So what is budget? Let me talk to you, let me tell you, it is nothing but the annual financial statement, our estimates for the upcoming year, and taking approval. I will be in next slide I will be talking to you why it is required to present budget in the house of in parliament. So we'll be talking about that. But budget is nothing but the annual statement, what government is going to do, and how the government of India earns a rupee and how it spends a rupee is nothing but essentially this budget. Okay, how the government earns and how the government spends. This is receipt versus expenditure. Okay, so the receipts and disbursements are shown under three parts of the government accounts, are kept in the consolidated fund of India, the contingency fund of India, and the public account of India. So the money that is flowing into the consolidated fund of India, contingency fund of India, and public account of India, and the money coming out of these three funds is the estimate or the financial statement of the government. Government has three major accounts: Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund of India, and Public Account of India, right? So yeah, so then comes the demand of grants. Under Article 113 of the Constitution, it requires that any proposal or estimate seeking withdrawal of money from Consolidated Fund of India should be presented to the Lok Sabha in the form of a demand of grants. So grants means people are taking money for doing the ministries, or like the railway ministry wants money to lay down 2500 kilometers of railway line. So how they will get the money? They will get the money in form of grant. So for getting that grant, they should have demand in front of the House, the Parliament, stating that to implement 2500 kilometer range railway line, I need 1 lakh rupees or 1 lakh crore rupees. Okay, so that 1 lakh crore rupees is nothing but the grant, and in order to get the grant, they have to demand it first. So that is nothing called the demand of grants. So whenever they need money, it will be deducted from the Consolidated Fund of India, and any withdrawal from Consolidated Fund of India requires Lok Sabha's assent, okay, or it should be presented in Lok Sabha under Article 113. So that's why in budget they also represent the demand of grants. What happens in budget? They talk about laying down roads, laying down infrastructure projects. So all of this belongs to one or other ministry, and all the ministries need fund, and they need fund in form of grant, and that grant to be demanded first. And in order to demand a grant under Article 113, you need to present the grant in front of the Parliament. So along with the budget, the demand of grants are also presented in Parliament. Hope all of you are understanding it in the simplest way I am representing it to you, right? Therefore, every ministry prepares a demand of grants for the expenditure that is to be incurred in the next financial year as planned in this budget, right? So these demands are collectively presented in Lok Sabha as part of union budget. Getting it? All of you will not get any doubt regarding demand of grants. I hope nowhere this much of intense session is right now going on. So I would urge all of you to like this session if possible. In case someone joined late and new to the channel, do subscribe, right? So we covered two basic points: annual financial statement and then the demand of grants. Now comes the finance bill. Finance bill is a part of union budget stipulating all legal amendments required for the changes in taxation proposed by finance minister. So whenever the government of India wants to change the taxation policy, they have to bring the finance bill into the floor of the house. So that is nothing but the finance bill, and it should be part of the union budget. As you know that the second part of the union budget deals with taxes, direct tax or indirect tax, and that amendments, that change in direct tax and indirect tax rule must be brought under a finance bill. Clear? Okay, Manoj asking simply, what is demand of grants? Requirement of money by various ministry is the demand for grants. How much of money various ministries require, they have to present it, right? So that is demand of grants. Like, yeah, as you, many of you may be working in a bank. In order to buy an UPS for your branch, how you will buy a UPS for your branch? You will not buy all of your own. You have to take a bill first, and you have to send that bill to your regional office, and you will ask them, kindly sanction, this is the estimate for estimate cost for buying a UPS or some other goods for your branch. Then your RO will approve it. So that demand or that slip you will be presenting to your regional office to demand this much of money is called demand of grants, in other words. Is it clear to all of you? So we are talking about finance bill as part of union budget. So any change in taxation requires a bill to be amended, and that bill is finance bill. Okay, and it also contains other provisions related to budget that could be classified as a money bill. A finance bill is also a money bill as per the Article 110 of the Constitution. What is money bill? The countries that follow the British way of parliament or British parliamentary system, or in other words we call it Westminster form of parliament. Westminster is in England. It is the parliament house of England, and there any bill that is represented for the government's expenditure is called a money bill. Okay, any bill or any statement of government where government is going to incur any kind of expenditure is termed as money bill. And you know that our constitution is a borrowed constitution. It borrows so many types of feature or so many articles of our constitution is borrowed from so many countries. So this money bill is borrowed from the British Parliament, right? So the finance bill is also a part of money bill. Money bill, whenever you or the government presents a bill in parliament regarding government's expenditure, that is treated as money bill. So finance bill is about government's expenditure or the changes in taxation. So it is one kind of money bill. Yeah, right. So these three main constitutional provisions in budget we have covered till now, right? Now we will be talking about the FRBM Act, provisions under FRBM Act, right? Are you all set? Are you all getting it? जल्दी से लाइक कर दीजिए, जो भी देख रहा है लाइक कर सकता है एक, और सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो कर सकते हैं सब्सक्राइब. Yeah, fiscal policy statements mandated under FRBM Act. So first is the microeconomic framework statement. मैंने FRBM Act का फुल फॉर्म आपको बता दिया. Fiscal Responsibility and Budgetary Management Act enacted in the year 2003. So what are the macroeconomic framework? It is a macroeconomic framework statement is presented to the Parliament under the section 3 of FRBM Act and the rules made thereunder. So it contains an assessment of the growth prospects of the economy along with the statement of specific underlying. It also contains an assessment regarding GDP growth rate, domestic economy and stability of the external sector of the economy, fiscal balance or central government and the external sector balance of the economy. So under this statement or under this particular slide, government forecasts its budget, government forecast its fiscal deficit, etc. Right? So about the economy, whatever in budget we talk about the economic prospects of the country in coming year is under this statement, right? Yeah. So next, let's go to the next part of the FRBM Act, which is need to be assessed in our budgetary statement. That is medium term fiscal policy or fiscal policy strategy statement. Under this, it sets out 3-year rolling target for specific fiscal indicators related to GDP in market price, namely fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, primary deficit, tax revenue, non-tax revenue, and central government debt. And it is for upcoming 3 years, the prediction for upcoming 3 years. So this statement includes the underlying assumption and assessment of the balance between revenue receipts and the revenue expenditure and the use of capital receipts, including market borrowings for the creation of productive asset. So see, in budget is nothing but the revenue receipt and revenue expenditure, capital receipt and capital expenditure. Capital expenditure, and this budget is all about the capital expenditure. This is for the first time government has boosted the capital expenditure multiple times than the previous fiscal year, even being in COVID era, and even being in even there are elections ahead, government has stepped up Capex, capital expenditure. And when you make a capital expenditure, the return are not in short term, the return are always long term. Capital expenditure or Capex, if someone asks it in your interview what is Capex, because they talk more about Capex in this budget. So what is Capex? All of these are to be understood from the core or from the fundamental level, so that you can answer them in your interviews, because nowadays banking is not all about the banking transactions. It is about commerce, it is about economics, it is about risk management, credit management, and everything that is there related to banking, economy, and business. So yes, what I was talking to you about is Capex. Capex is the capital expenditure, or what the government intend to invest in the infrastructure development of the country. Revenue expenditures are the expenditures that the government do in the social sector or the social front, but the capital infrastructure or the Capex is the expenditure that government is going to incur in infrastructure project. So that's why they have put the Amrit Kal, or a long term prospect of 25 years of growth, right? So the mismatch between the receipts and expenditure of a budget is called the budgetary deficit or the fiscal deficit. And the fiscal deficit is always financed in two ways. So normally one is by debts. Debt means taking loans or borrowing money from inside the country and outside the country, and the other way is to print more money, right? So this process is called, both the process are called deficit financing. The loan we take from domestic market in terms of bond is domestic loans, and the loans we take from outside are called external commercial borrowing, and the other way is to print more money. So printing more money leads to inflation, so that is not a feasible way to fill the gap of your fiscal deficit. So two things can come to your mind: issuing more bonds, and the second point is taking more external commercial borrowing. Okay. So it also outlines the existing financial year, the strategic priorities of the government related to taxation, expenditure, borrowings, and guarantees. So let's move to the key highlights of the budget in part 1. There are two parts. Part 2 talks about taxes. Part 1 is the development in various fronts of the economy. India's economic growth estimated to rise at 9.2% of the GDP growth is estimated at 9.2%, as we saw in the speech of Principal Economic Advisor or in Economic Survey. 60 lakhs new job is to be created under the PLI scheme, which recently launched in 14 sectors. Productivity linked incentive: the more you produce, the more incentive you get as a business, and when business will get incentive, they will create more and more job. More production will lead to more incentive, so that's why they will step up their they will ramp up their productivity capacity, and to ramp up a productivity capacity they need manpower, and in other words it will create direct and indirect jobs in market. PLI schemes have the potential to create additional production of rupees 30 lakh crore, and that is going to be added into our GDP. And India is entering an Amrit Kal as predicted by the government, a 25-year long lead up to India's 100th year of independence. So in these 25 years, India envisages growth in 4 sectors, that is PM Gati Shakti, inclusive development, productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action, and the financing of investments. I will go one by one, so don't worry or panic. So what is the key highlights of PM Gati Shakti? Completing 25,000 kilometer national highway in 2022-23, integrated of postal and railway network, multimodal connectivity between urban transport and railway stations. So what is there in PM Gati Shakti? It is the 7 engine that can drive the PM Gati Shakti project are the roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways, and logistic infrastructure. The scope of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan will encompass the 7 engines of the economic transformation, seamless multimodal connectivity, and logistic efficiencies. The projects pertaining to these 7 engines in the national infrastructure pipeline will also be aligned with the PM Gati Shakti network. Contracts to be awarded in 2022 to 2023 for 8 ropeway projects in 60-kilometer length. So that means in the 7 various sectors, important sectors or the energy sectors, road, transportation, etc., there will be a coordination between these sectors, ministries, to create the next level of growth in India, right? And there is addition to that, there will be 8 ropeways to be created. Is it clear? There are 8 ropeways to be created. Getting it? Yeah. Next, in PM Gati Shakti, National Highways Network to be expanded by 25,000 km in 2022 in 2023. That means in the next fiscal year. 20,000 crore to be mobilized for National Highways Network expansion. 2,000 km railway network to be brought under Kavach scheme, and the indigenous world-class technology and capacity augmentation in the next fiscal year. 400 new generation Vande Mataram trains or Vande Bharat trains and 100 PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals to be implemented or to be manufactured or to be developed during the next 3 years. The last point is for the next 3 years project, and the all the other schemes are for the next fiscal year, right? And we talk about inclusive development right now. Rupees 2.37 lakh crore direct payment to 1.63 crore farmers for procurement of wheat and paddy, and that this is under minimum support price, that is MSP. Chemical free natural farming to be promoted throughout the country. Initial focus will be farmers' land in 5-kilometer wide corridors along the river Ganga. So there are no pesticides required, because you know the land is very fertile near Ganga basin. So there will be a chemical free or organic farming will be promoted in these areas. So NABARD to facilitate funds with blended capital to finance startups for agriculture and rural enterprise. Kisan drones for crop assessment, digitalization of land records, etc. for spraying of insecticides and nutrients. And now drones is also going to be used in farming sectors, and these are the areas. Insecticides, nutrients will be sprayed from the sky. We are developing, and imagine our farmers using drone technology. So we'll surpass the Australia. Australians are known to do so from helicopters. They use helicopters for farming very aggressively, but we at India are going to use drones as the secondary help in our farming sector. So this will definitely boost our farming sector. 1,400 crore outlay for implementation of the Ken-Betua link project. I hope all of you know about the Ken-Betua link. It is near Bundelkhand. It is in between UP and MP. 13 districts of MP, 4-5 districts of UP are covered under this scheme. So Bundelkhand area is a drought prone area. So these two rivers, mainly this Ken and Betua, are the tributaries of Yamuna. They flow into Yamuna. But between the period of the area in between Ken and Betua is a drought prone area. So there will be a interlinking of these two rivers, and it will give water supply or irrigation supply to the districts of UP and MP. More in MP, less in UP. 4-5 districts of UP, Jhansi, etc., and 13 districts in MP. Okay, so this could be your next. Yes, it is very tough to understand which exactly point coming to exam. I will be covering the exact MCQs. Today we'll cover top 10 MCQs, and coming days I will be covering what is important for banking point of view. Also, we try to put everything that comes in your bank exam. So nothing additional is added here, but just go through the statement. Also, once you receive the PDF, you try to understand what the union budget wants to say. And this specific edition is especially for your upcoming exams. So points that are relevant for your bank exams we are covering, right? So there will be digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood missions. That is the Desh Start e-portal to be launched soon. Startups will be promoted to facilitate drone Shakti and for drone as a service. So DRAS will be a new scheme. Drones will be used as service providers. So now startups will be energized, or startups will be facilitated to promote drone service. One class, one TV channel will be launched, like for 5th, 6th, 7th, there will be separate TV channels, so that under e-Vidya scheme, so that people, students of specific class can watch TV, their study materials, their classes in TV channels. National Telemental Health is launched. 60,000 crore allocated under Har Ghar Nal Se Jal scheme. Housing for all, it is always asked in bank exams. Rupees 48,000 crore allocated for the completion of 80 lakh crore in 2022 to 23. That means in next fiscal. New scheme of PM DevINE launched to fund infrastructure projects in Northeast. Okay, that is PM Development Northeast. So in initial allocation, 1500 crore made enable for livelihood activities for women under this PM Development North India scheme, Northeastern India scheme. Vibrant Villages program for development of border villages also started. Just look into the points that is mentioned here, because it will give you an idea of the things, and whenever there is a question in your exam, you will be in a position to eliminate the wrong answer. Okay, things are in blue are important for your bank exam point of view. 100% of 1.5 lakh post office to come under CBS. That's a great news, people aspiring to have a career in banking industry. If all the post has to be enabled CBS, or all the post office has to do banking services, they need more banking expertise, and they have a separate wing as IPB, India Post Payment Bank, but they need more expertise. So that is going to boost employment in post office, which I can infer from these lines. Scheduled commercial bank to set up 75 digital banking units in 75 districts. Initially, that has to ramp up in coming days. As you know, India has 625 districts. So digital banking units to be set up in coming days in all branches. Digital rupee to be launched in Reserve Bank of India in the upcoming fiscal year. So I have taken a class on CBDC, central bank digital currency. This is going to be different than the cryptocurrencies. Like cryptocurrencies are asset in nature. This will be give you a value for exchange. You can exchange, or you can buy or purchase through the CBDC, but you cannot invest in it. Or like in cryptocurrency, why you buy a cryptocurrency? You buy because you treat it as an asset class, or you believe that if you invest 1 lakh today, it will go up to 1 crore in next 5-7 years. But this is not going to happen in case of digital currency. Digital currency is going to be only a medium of exchange, like your money left in Paytm wallet or PhonePe wallet. And as you know that Paytm, PhonePe are private entities. So this the money kept with Reserve Bank of India could be sovereign backed or backed by the government of India. So this is you are not going to lose in case companies are to wind up, right? So but the structure is not yet clear. What should be the CBDC? It should be an investment avenue. If it is not an investment avenue, then how it is different than money kept in your bank account or in your UPI wallets? So things are not clearer to government right now or to RBI. As things unfold, your channel will cover that. So stay subscribed till then. Also, I have covered another edition on CBDC. Do watch. Center for Processing, and we'll talk about IBC. IBC is Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, and I always say that the country which has a robust IBC network do well in the ease of doing business ranking, and companies invest only in the countries where winding up business is easier, because you know that millionaires, billionaires, for millionaire and billionaires, entering into a business is easy, but quitting a business is always difficult, because you have to address so many concerns, so you have to comply with so many regulatory norms, you have to pay to your workmen for the all of a sudden, if you are closing your business down, all of a sudden you have to pay them for upcoming 3 4 5 months, you have to compensate. So that's why companies don't enter into business so easily. Entering into business, creating business is easy, but quitting is not easy. And where the environment is easy to quit, like in China, more and more company invest in these countries. So similarly, India wants to boost their ease of doing business ranking. So that's why India has made IBC more lenient. India has added more lenient ways or more lenient reforms in IBC. So now they will be taking the IBC to the next level. I will be talking about the IBC, how they are taking it to the next level, as they are trying to set up a cross-border insolvency resolution process. Because till now the insolvency resolution process is for the domestic entities, but the entities that are dealing with cross-border transactions or the external entities that are doing business in India, what they are going to formulate for them is going to feature in the upcoming IBC rule. So Center for Processing or Accelerated Corporate Exit to be established for speedy winding up of companies. So now there will be a separate wing for winding up or for closing down business in India in a fast pace, and that entity will be known as Cpec. Cpec is China Economic Corridor, but that is not here. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, but this is CPES, not Cpec. It is CPES. Yeah. So the changes have been proposed in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code to enable seamless cross-border insolvency as well as quick dispute resolution. The theme of the reform in Insolvency Code is localization, combination of globalization and localization. So this is adopted under UN Citral Model Law. What is UN Citral Model Law? This is United Nations Commission on International Trade and Law. So this model law is not binding in nature on any government. It is not forcefully enacted by any government, nor the UN can force to any government to implement these laws, but developed countries in their each can implement these laws, right? Yeah, important MCQs are coming up just after 10 minutes. Just stay focused. E-passports with embedded chip and futuristic technology are to be rolled out. An animation, visual effects, gaming and comic promotion task force to be created. SEG Act to be replaced with a new legislation, special economic zone. This is asked 3 years back in RRB exam. What is special economic zone? Special or something about special economic zone. Special economic zone is a special zone inside a boundary of a country where the rule or the laws are separate than other part of the country. Here ease of doing business is greater than all other places. Anybody or any company creating or establishing a network or business facility there will have to pay less tax, etc. So in defense 68% of capital procurement of budget embarked on domestic industry. So now 68% procurement in defense will be from Indian market. Okay, so we'll now only cover the important points. Rest you please find out after the PDF is shared in the application. Yeah, nothing is important here. So GIFT City, world-class foreign universities and institutions to be allowed in the GIFT City. Please tell me where is the headquarters of GIFT City. See, an international arbitration center is also to be set up under GIFT City. Okay, in Gujarat, International Finance Tech City. Allocation of rupees 1 lakh crore in 2022 and 2023 to assist the states in catalyzing overall investment in the economy. So ease of doing business 2.0 is to be implemented by the government as it is told. Fiscal management budget estimates 34.83 lakh crore. So now the revised estimate for 2021-2022, the current fiscal year which is going on, has now changed to 37.7 lakh crore. Total expenditure in the coming fiscal years to stand at 39.45 lakh crore. Total receipt to estimate as 22.85 crore. Fiscal deficit of current year is 6.9% of GDP, but budgetary estimate of previous year or last year it was estimated at 6.8, but it stood at 6.9. Fiscal deficit of the upcoming fiscal year is estimated at 6.4%. Very good, very good. Gandhinagar is the answer. Yeah, so now let's come to the part B. As you know that there is no much change in the taxation rule, and part B of the budget is always about taxation. First is direct tax. Tax that people pay from their income is called direct tax. Indirect tax where you pay tax when you incur some service or you buy some goods like GSTs, etc. So yeah. So in this tax regime, government has focused more on trustworthy tax regime so that government can rely more on people. Government believes that more and more people will come under tax regime and voluntarily they will declare their income and pay the tax. So that is called vision to establish the trustworthy tax regime. And there will be separate provisions that government has now started believing to its citizen. So government will allow people to undo their wrongdoings, like many people who have hidden their tax or hidden their incomes now can file a updated tax return. It will also enable to assessees to declare their income which they missed out earlier, and it can be filed within 2 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. So anybody who realizes after 2 years or in between 2 years that I have cheated my country, my nation by not paying tax on my legitimate earning, so they can now come voluntarily and file an updated tax return, and government will not penalize these people because this will be based on a trustworthy tax regime. Okay, so the payment of annuity and lump sum amount from insurance schemes to be allowed for the different able or dependent during the lifetime of parents and guardians by when the guardians will attain the age of 60 years. There will be some tax changes for cooperative societies. So earlier the alternate minimum tax paid by cooperatives were 18.5%. That is now stands changed to 15%. Okay, surcharge on cooperative societies reduced from 12% to 7% for those who are having total income more than rupees 1 crore to rupees 10 crore. Period of incorporation of extended by 1 year up to 31/03/2023 for eligible startups to avail tax benefits. You know, startups which are incorporated up to 2023 March will now get the tax benefit. This tax benefit for startups is as mentioned here, 100% tax rebate on profit for a period of 3 years in a block of 7 years, provided that their annual turnover doesn't exceed rupees 25 crore in any financial year. First it was up to 2021, then it was changed to 2022, now it stands changed to 2023. That means any startup which is incorporated up to the year 2023 March now can get 100% tax rebate for their 3 years tax in a block of 7 years where their total turnover doesn't exceed 25 crore. Okay, so if a company established in 2023 before 2023 March, maybe in 1st of March 2023 a startup is established. So from 2023 to 2030, in 7 years, out of 7 years, in any 3 year, he will get, or that startup will get 100% tax cashback or tax rebate, or if the tax stands at 1 crore in each year for 3 years, in 3 years, so they will get return that 1 crore amount, or they have to pay nil tax. Okay, subject to their turnover doesn't exceed rupees 25 crore. Got it? Is it clear to all of you now? Is it clear to all of you now? So now there is a great news about digital currency or virtual digital assets to cryptocurrency. It could be celebrated by the investors, or both can be celebrated or can be repented, right? So what is that? That government is wanting to tax your profit in cryptos, and that tax will be 30%. Whenever you sell a crypto, and if you are earning profit out of the crypto assets or the virtual digital assets, you will be taxed 30%. Why I said that it has to be cheered by the cryptos or the crypto investors? Because in other words, government is legalizing crypto. So in any income, whenever you pay income tax in any of your income, that income becomes a legal income. So government has not yet told anything about crypto investment. Is it illegal or illegal? Government has to bring the cryptocurrency bill, but now they are saying that you pay us 30% tax. So in anything you pay 30% tax, that means it is government is recognizing the presence of crypto. Point number one, government is saying you that the earning or the investing in cryptos are legal. So all of a sudden government cannot come and ban cryptocurrencies. So the fear which was looming for crypto investors for the ban of cryptos are now gone, right? Is it clear? ये समझ में नहीं आया? माइक सेइंग ये समझ में नहीं आया, मैं हिंदी में बोल देता हूं। क्रिप्टो करेंसी में जो प्रॉफिट आपको होगा बिटकॉइन वगैरह में, बिटकॉइन इथेरियम वगैरह में, आपको 30% टैक्स देना है। दुख की बात है, पहले टैक्स लग नहीं रहा था, अभी 30% चला जाएगा। और खुशी की बात यह है कि गवर्नमेंट, जो डर था हमारे मन में कि जो क्रिप्टोज हैं वो बैन हो सकते हैं या फिर क्रिप्टो में इन्वेस्ट करना इलीगल हो सकता है, क्योंकि क्रिप्टो करेंसी बिल पार्लियामेंट में टेबल होने वाला था, नहीं हो पाया, आगे जाके होगा, ठीक है। तो इससे ये कहता है कि जिस इनकम पे आपने टैक्स दे दिया वो तो आपका लीगल इनकम हो गया। तो इसका ये मतलब है कि आप जो अर्निंग करेंगे क्रिप्टो से वो लीगल है, पॉइंट नंबर वन। और गवर्नमेंट कल पार्लियामेंट में आके ये नहीं बोल सकता कि क्रिप्टो हम कुछ नहीं जानते, हम अपना करेंसी लॉन्च करेंगे, ऐसा तो बोल नहीं सकता, क्योंकि उसने ऑलरेडी बोल दिया है कि आप मुझे टैक्स दे दो, वो प्रॉफिट पर टैक्स दे दो। जिसमें वो टैक्स ले रहा था वो है ही नहीं, कैसे बोल पाएगा? सो दे एडमिट दैट क्रिप्टोज एग्जिस्ट, investing crypto is legal if you pay the tax. Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Yeah, so you have to pay TDS to be provided on payment made in relation to the transfer of virtual digital asset at 1%. If you are transferring your cryptos to another entity or another one, you have to pay 1% TDS. TDS can be returned in, you can file income tax return, and if you don't generate profit, you can get it. And if someone gifts you virtual assets or cryptos, then the receiver has to pay income tax. Okay, so IFSC income, there are few conditions. There will be exempt of tax. Income of non-resident from offshore derivative instruments, income over the counter derivatives issued by an offshore banking unit, income from royalty and interest on account of lease of ship, income received from portfolio management services in international financial service centers. It is not digital payment, my dear friend, it is crypto, it is digital asset, cryptocurrency, right? Yes, now we are going to move to the most expected, anticipated MCQs of the session, and many people were eagerly waiting to find out what are the MCQs. Before I could go ahead, I will urge once again, not subscribed, kindly subscribe and like, share, do whatever you can do to support us. Yeah, so here we will be talking about the first MCQ. According to which article of the Indian Constitution the union budget of a year is presented? 110, 112, 113, 213. Your answers, please. Manoj, Neha has given their first answers. I will not wait because time is constrained. So it is as per section 112. Under section 112, the union budget is presented, but there is nothing called union budget or budget. It is annual financial statement. It is referred as in annual financial statement in our constitution. It is a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditure of the government for that particular year. Okay, thank you. Many of you are answering. Many of you have started answering. Yeah, sorry, I have. Sorry, 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 sorry. Just a second. Yeah. So this is the next MCQ on your screen. How many times Nirmala Sitharaman presented the budget? 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. How many times Nirmala Sitharaman ji presented the budget? Yes, I got the answer for question number 1. Now question number 2. For how many times our uh, current finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji has presented the budget? Twice, thrice, 4 times or 5 times? Twice, thrice, 4 times or 5 times? Kesava Anand says 2, but this is not the right answer. 4 times. She has presented the budget so far 4 times, and this year she delivered her shortest ever budget address. In 2021, her budget speech was 100 minutes long, and she has the highest. She has the record for the longest budget speech. She has, because we put it in our Instagram page today. Did you know who has the record of presenting the longest ever budget speech? And that is Nirmala Sitharaman ji. And before that, Manmohan Singh ji and Dr. Manmohan Singh and Arun Jaitley ji were having the top 2 positions. Yeah, she broke the records. Who presented the first budget of India? R.K. Shanmukham Chetty, Sardar Patel, James Wilson, John Mathai. Your answers, please. We'll quickly wrap up this edition. Who presented the first budget of India? R.K. Shanmukh Chetty, Sardar Patel, James Wilson, John Mathai. We have not discussed the same in this edition, but I want it. And these first 3 questions were basics of budget, but now we'll move to the real questions of budget, that is not static in nature, that is more practical in nature, or about the current budget. Yeah, many people are saying C, C, D, A. Chetty ji is the Mr. R.K. Shanmukham Chetty has presented the budget for the independent India, but the first budget was presented by James Wilson in the year 1860, just after the Sepoy Mutiny, or the first struggle of independence. Okay, so under British crown. So James Wilson is for India. For pre-India, R.K. Shanmukham Chetty, who happens to be the first finance minister of pre-India. John Mathai here is the second finance minister of India. As per budget 2022, now post office to be empowered with all banking services, CBS, information technology and UPI. As per the budget 2022, now the post offices to be empowered with banking services, CBS, information technology and UPI. It is the same way nowadays questions are being asked. They will ask an analytical question to understand how far you grabbed the knowledge. Banking services, CBS, information technology, UPI. Yeah, many people have right answer. Mangesh is saying D is not the right one here. Okay, B is the right answer. Core banking solution or core banking services. Right. As per budget 2022, how many digital banking systems in 75 districts to be opened by scheduled commercial banks in India? 75, 750, 175 or 100? How many digital banking units are to be established by scheduled commercial banks in India as per the budget 2022? Yes, 1.5 lakh post office branches to be enabled CBS. So now the turn is to answer the next question on your screens. How many digital banking units? Very good. I got the answer from Sarma Amit. People, those who are watching, kindly give a thumbs up, like कर दीजिए. बहुत intense class चल रहा है और we work hard to find out the real level of MCQs as it is really asked in your bank exams. And we have changed the pattern as we got so many question makers of reputed organizations of exam conducting bodies to make questions for us. So we are creating good amount of MCQs, quality MCQs nowadays for you. The ECLGS, Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, to be extended up to March 2023. Guaranteed cover extended by another rupees how many crores? 50,000 crore, 1 lakh crore, 5 lakh crore, 5,000 crore. When this ECLGS is launched, can anyone tell me this Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme is launched in which year? And for why it is launched? Why the ECLGS scheme is launched? ECLGS. Yes, the right answer is A, but we will be discussing about ECLGS because maybe they will not ask about this 50,000 crore, but they will say what is ECLGS. The loan under ECLGS is a what? Working capital loan, working capital term loan, working capital CC, or it is a non-fund based loan. So this is nothing but a fund based loan. You know that difference between fund based and non-fund based. I think all our students are good at that. So fund, because we take so many internal banking classes on these aspects, and our credit material is referred by many big banking institutions. So it is a working capital term loan, my dear friends, not working capital CC. It is a working capital term loan, Manoj Verma. It is launched after COVID. It is a response to the COVID when the MSMEs fail and government cannot afford MSMEs to fail. So that's why it is implemented. Okay. So 100% guarantee is given under National Credit Guarantee Trust Company Limited. It's a fund based loan facility and it's a fund based working capital loan facility. Fund based working capital term loan facility, to be specific. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, quickly we'll wrap up now. As per budget 2022, the electric vehicles, which policy to be brought out with interoperability standards? Charging stations, battery swapping, network connectivity and mobility. As per budget 2022, which policy has to be brought up under electric vehicle scheme, or for electric vehicles, which of these schemes has to come up? And remember, the hint here is the interoperability. Yeah, battery swapping is the right answer. Battery swapping is the right answer. Yes, the answer wrongly given A here, but it is B, battery swapping. Alternate minimum tax for cooperative societies down from 18.5% to 10%, 15%, 5% or 13%. Which one is the right answer? 10%, 15%, 5% or 13%? B is the answer from Mayank. Yes, it is B is the right answer here. It is 15%. Very good. Now dash percent TDS to be charged on transfer of virtual digital assets and income generated from it to be taxed at what percentage? 1%, 15%, 30%, 1%, 1%, 30%, 10%, 15%. What is the TDS charged now on cryptos? And if profit is generated, what is the tax slab? What is the tax slab? 1%, 15, 31, 1, 30, 10, 15. Many people are answering C. So I will go with you, Mangesh. You are wrong here. It is 1% and 30%. Very good. What is the revised fiscal deficit target for FY22? 6 point, I think options are not because it's created in hurry. 6.4, 6.5, 6.8, 6.9. What is the right answer? The earlier estimate was 6.8%. As it is a wrong question, wrong options are given here, I must be telling you. It is 6.8% against earlier 6.9%. Okay. Okay. So with that, yes, it is 6 point, sorry, I'm extremely sorry for that. It is 6.9%, but in last fiscal year or in last budget, it was estimated at 6.8%, but the real or the actual number is 6.9%. Very good. 6.4% is for the coming year. is for the coming year or the fiscal year 2023. So thank you for being with us. I must tell you that we are having a great presence in other social media platforms apart from YouTube. That is, in LinkedIn, we have crossed 10,000 mark. In Telegram, in various groups, we are more than 20,000 members. So please join, find out our dedicated links in specific segments or social medias. We give specific information, like in Instagram, we post stories related to banking MCQs and banking FAQs. So stay tuned, and in LinkedIn, you will be updated with jobs, etc. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with Knowledgist. If you have not liked this presentation, do like if you really like the way we are taking classes, and if you feel it is relevant to your exams, do like, share it to your maximum friends, and don't forget to subscribe.